Well, today we get to spend some time in a proverb. And once in a while it works out this way. We call it Preacher's Choice. And I get to choose what we preach on. And I decided to preach on a proverb today. And one of the reasons is because I just love the invitation of the Proverbs to those who would like more wisdom, delve deeply into this. And I feel like maybe the little wisdom I have, I would like more. And Proverbs offers that. But Proverbs also, a thing I like about it is it's this book that doesn't pretend anything. It's about the everyday and the ordinary. And it points to the way life is. And it doesn't necessarily give answers. It gives the way of wisdom for us to make decisions in the messiness of everyday life. That's what I like about the Proverbs. And today we're going to do that. And I want to tell you right off the bat that this is about making choices. Wisdom is about making choices that shape our lives. Choices that make us who we are today. And in Proverbs 9, there's this image of two parties, two invitations going out. They're calling out to the guests, hey, come to my party, come to my party. The hosts are called wisdom and folly. Come to my party. It's going to be amazing. And we know that in the picture of this proverb, that people's lives are shaped based on the decision of which party they choose to go to. The party of wisdom or the party of folly. Which party will you go to? You're invited to both. A few years ago, I was invited to speak at a Christian university. Now, before this sounds really like highfalutin and all that, I just want to tell you that I think they were getting really near to the bottom of the list of people they could invite, and I happened to know the professor, so there was I. They invited me to speak, and it wasn't really a big deal. It was a pretty small class on leadership lessons in the life of David, just once. But I knew I had a choice to make. And maybe this will be obvious, but the choice I had to make was, 1, yes, I will do it. 2, no, I won't. That was my choice. Narrowed it down. That's the beginning of wisdom. But this is the tough part, which choice was the way of wisdom for me? See, life is like that. We have choices and we think it's going to be obvious, but sometimes it's not that easy to tell which way is the way of wisdom. In the yes column, well, this could be a really good experience for me. I could stretch myself and learn a lot. I have to read 1 and 2 Samuel and prepare a whole bunch of stuff about leadership in the life of David, but I can do this. This will stretch me. This will be good. Maybe I will make a difference in the lives of some of these students at this university. That's in the yes column. But there was also a no column that was important as well. It's a lot of work, and I feel tired. I don't know if I want to do this. It sounds hard. Is it really worth it? Will I really make a difference? All this effort to do this, will I really make a difference? And maybe most importantly and most difficult was this. Is this good for me and my boundaries? Should I be investing in my family and friends and relationships or investing time in this? See, often decisions we make are not easy. It's in the world of gray, and wisdom helps us navigate those decisions. I could say yes, I could say no. Either way. Which decision is the way of wisdom? Which is the way of folly? Which party will I go to? I want to check in a bit and ask where you are at, because I bet you, all of you today, are navigating decisions in life that you cannot tell which way is folly and which way is wisdom. That is the difficulty of navigating a complex life. These are the things that keep us up at night. We think through these things. They wake us up. We wake up realizing we haven't had a good sleep because we've got this thing on our mind. Maybe some of you are at a place where you're wondering about your career. What am I going to do when I grow up? Should I retire? I've retired and I don't like it. What should I do? These are all questions that we're facing. Maybe there's questions about relationships that we're facing in our lives. What are we going to do with our parents who are struggling and aging? It's a question, right? That takes great wisdom. Are my relationships healthy? Am I spending enough time with those that I love? Maybe there's other decisions. If you're a parent, you need to help your child decide what school to go to. Life is complex. Maybe it's just that you think you want to move, but you're not sure if you should move. How do you make these decisions? It's not easy. Making good decisions takes a lot of wisdom. So I'm going to ask you, all of us today, to please adopt a posture. 3 simple things, because I think one of the hazards of reading Proverbs is that when we read this, we go, oh yeah, it's obvious which way is the right way to go. I'm not going to go to Folly's party. I'm too smart for that. I'm going to ask you to adopt a posture. Number 1, can we admit that we might be wrong about some things in our lives we think we have right? Does it resonate? I might be wrong about some things in life that I think I have right. You too, not just me. Making wise and good decisions is hard work. Not easy. Good and bad decisions can both look appealing. We need to open ourselves up and adopt that posture to hear the lessons and wisdoms of Proverbs today. In Proverbs chapter 9, there's these 2 invitations that go out to 2 parties. There's the first one is wisdom's invitation, and both parties actually look pretty good. Come, eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways and you will live. Walk in the way of insight. It's the first party. Come to my party. This is going to change your life. My party will change your life and make it better. We're going to talk about living in a good, godly way, and we're going to practice making good decisions. Now, there's another invitation that goes out, a competing party. You all get invited to lots of parties at the same time, right? I'm sure popular people like you is like that. Come to my party. Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious. Hey, you should come to mine. It's better. This party is way better. You will have the time of your life. I promise you. It's an easy come, easy go party. Hakuna Matata. We sing that all day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Relax. Let's party. Life is shaped by the choices we make. Which party do you want to go to? As I thought about this, I thought there's a feeling here, a taste. I feel like wisdom's party, if I was to say what it would taste like, it tastes like a protein shake. It tastes like a protein shake, but not just a regular one. It's actually got spinach mixed in. And it's blended and it's kind of rough. And you drink it and it's like, that is work going down and you've got a bit of a mustache. And you know that your body is loving you for it, but you're not too sure that you love it. That's the wisdom party. It's a really healthy protein shake. Now the folly party, it's pretty nice. It's like a big gulp. It's like a big gulp, but with extra high fructose corn syrup poured in. And when you drink that thing, you're just like, whoa, that is good. But after a few minutes, your body starts pushing back a little bit, not loving you that much for drinking that big gulp. And all those people are like, big gulps, eh? Anyway, both parties offer you something. Both have some kind of appeal. And they're both inviting you. You're not sure which one you should go to. So wisdom calls out, this is for everyone. Please come to my party. It's going to change your life. Basically pleading, I've got this free gift for you. that I really want you to take because I know it's going to make a difference in your life. It's going to make your life better and healthier. It will absolutely change your life for the better. And wisdom makes eye contact. You, sir, you look like you want to come to the wisdom party. Please come to my party. Ma'am, how about you? The wisdom party, protein shakes for all. You notice it's not really that popular, though. Not a lot of people are taking up this offer. And you decide, maybe I'm going to peek through the window a little bit because you know where the party is. And you look through the window, and there's people sitting in chairs, and they've got name tags. It's kind of a little nerdy. And they've got these notebooks with pencils, and they're sitting taking notes. They're deep in conversation, talking to each other. It's kind of a hushed conversation. And nobody is dancing. But not like they should be, because Baptists, right? It looks like a bit of work. Folly's also inviting people. Come to my party. It's going to be the party of the century. It'll be so much fun. Everything at my party is free. You don't have to pay for anything. And it's going to make you so happy. There's unlimited refills. Just wear your bracelet. You got to wear that. You notice that this is a really popular party. Like people are going to this party. It looks like the one to go to. So you decide maybe I'll peek into the Folly party window and see what I see. That's really happening. The music is loud. They've got a smoke machine and people are dancing. There's a DJ. The speakers are really big. There's subwoofers everywhere. There's lights. There's even a chocolate fountain, right? There's all that stuff. And it's easy. There's an implication that you just go and do whatever you want and there's no consequences for anything. Which party will you choose? We have a decision to make. Now, there's a challenge to the readers, and I know this is crucial to get this point across. Both parties are appealing. We happen to know which is folly, which is wisdom, because we're reading this title, but don't miss this. We are supposed to catch that both parties are appealing. They both make promises, and they both have something to offer. This is an image of the folly party so that we can see what folly looks like in real life. And it's important to know that folly looks very appealing. People make bad decisions because they are appealing decisions. People don't wake up in the morning and say, how can I sabotage my life today? What's the worst thing I can do? It's not really that realistic. People don't choose folly because it's unappealing. They choose it because it's appealing. It offers something. People don't generally want to make bad decisions in life. How can I sabotage my life today? So we need to understand this to be wise. If not, we will come out of this thinking that obviously I'm going to the wisdom party because it's easy to figure out the way of wisdom. It's obvious. I mean, if that was the case, we wouldn't even need this book of Proverbs, would we? We'd all be making wise decisions. So how is it appealing? There are 3 features of folly that make it super appealing to all of us. It makes big, loud promises. And on the surface, they just sound so great. If you do this, it will change everything. It's going to satisfy you and make you happy. Big claims. This will change your life. And it's easy. That's the first thing. Makes big promises. Number 2, the way of folly is deceitful. It's deceitful about yourself. It tells lies that you want to hear, and it tells lies about others and the situation, so that it's difficult to see the way of wisdom. Folly likes to distort the truth, so you choose its party. The third thing about folly's party, folly is the easy way. It's the shortcut. It's the easy solution. It seems free, but in the long run, it costs greatly. seems to work at first. Do the easy thing and choose folly. It seems fun. It seems like it was the right choice. But after months or years or even decades, things start catching up to you if you've chosen folly, party. Anyway, that's not part of what I'm saying. If you choose folly's party, it will wear you down. They're the choices that catch up to you and lead to destruction, lead to your life imploding or exploding, and problems magnifying in your life. And Proverbs 9:18 says this about the folly party, "But little do they know that the dead are there, that their guests are deep in the realm of dead." Wisdom's party is different. It's not as loud, doesn't make the same promises, doesn't promise that things will be easy. There are three qualities of wisdom that stand against the qualities of folly. Number one, the way of wisdom is intentional. There is intention of doing the right thing. It's not the easy way. It's not the way of avoiding problems. It's not the way of taking shortcuts. Sometimes it's the way of hard work. Wisdom is intentional. Second quality of the wisdom party is that it is truthful. Wisdom tells the truth. Tells the truth about yourself and others and the situation in your life. And sometimes that's not the easy thing to hear. Wisdom is always truthful. And the third quality of the wisdom party is that it is humble. It doesn't appeal to your pride, but it requires a certain posture to learn the lessons of life and to take correction and go a different way. To say, I need help, I have a problem. It's a way of wisdom. Wisdom never promises an easy life without problems. Never promises that. That's the way of folly. If you hear that promise, that is the way of folly. Wisdom recognizes that life is not easy and that there will be problems, and we need wisdom to deal with those problems as they arise, not avoid them. That's the way of wisdom. Those voices, I think, call to us, all of us, every single day of our lives. And the challenge of Proverbs is developing the skill of recognizing which voice is calling you. Is it the voice of folly or is it the voice of wisdom? This is what they sound like. These are examples of the ways of folly and the ways of wisdom in everyday life. Like maybe if you're feeling down and drained and just lacking energy and just like, meh, I've just got nothing. This is folly. You know what I need right now? I admit this one is a bit of an insight into my head. I need to binge on Netflix and eat chips. That will solve everything for me. Maybe 3, maybe 4 Netflix episodes. I don't know. That's a good promise. That actually sounds pretty good. I feel a little bit excited thinking about that right now. That's the voice of folly. Wisdom says this. You know, I think it would be good to go to bed early. I think it would be good to get some rest and eat some healthy food and seek God's presence. That's the way of wisdom in real life. Different voices. One is easy and appealing, and the other is a bit more difficult. Takes a bit of work. Now, there's people that journey through life, and all of us to some degree feeling unloved, unnoticed, undervalued. And folly says things to us in this regard. Folly says, you know what? You feel this way, but there's an easy solution. You can prove your value to other people and to yourself because you do it by demonstrating and bragging. Maybe actually every time you do something good, post it on social media so people see. Do that. Brag about how great you are. Do all these things to lift yourself up and pump yourself up. Do busy work. Become a workaholic and just work so hard. And every time someone says, how are you doing? You just go, oh, I'm so busy. I'm working so hard. Did you know that I work 50 hours on this job and 70 on this job every week? No, that's bad math. But anyway, you get the point. I'm working so hard. Wisdom says, if you're feeling unloved and undervalued and unnoticed, you need to remember that your identity is in God's love, not those other things. And it goes a different way. It goes to the slow, deep work of God's love in your life. And it calls us to invest in relationships and other people and to serve others. And we know that when we serve others, we actually receive some kind of love from God that changes us. A lot of people feel hurt. Probably everyone, sometime in their lives, maybe right now, have felt hurt. Folly says the reason and the way to overcome hurts is to numb yourself. Treat that with other things. Treat it with addictions. Treat it with substances. It feels good. Forget about it for a while. Engage in numbing behaviors that make you forget your hurt. Wisdom says something different. It says acknowledge your pain and enter into a season of grief and seek healthy restoration and healing. Both have an appeal, but one is wise and one is folly. Did you know that the way of wisdom in the Proverbs is also the way of Jesus? These are not things that compete. Proverbs tells us, above all, above everything in your life, pursue wisdom more than anything. This aligns with the calling of Jesus to put his way and seek the kingdom of God first. Seeking wisdom first is seeking to live in God's desires and plans and love for your life. And to display that to the world. That's what it is. And today, as if you're a Christian, if you're a follower of Jesus, we need to be aware of folly for us today. Folly for us says, if you are a Christian, your life should be easy. Have you heard that message? Something's wrong if things go sideways in your life if you're a Christian. God is getting you for something. It's the voice of folly. It's the assumption that things should be easy in our lives. You shouldn't have any problems. Something's not working. The godly decisions in our lives are the ones that meet those things head on and face the truth. The way of folly says when you make decisions, you'll know it's the right decision because there's no resistance and it's easy. We call it open door theology. You know, I was praying what I should do and a door opened and I walked through it. It's called the discernment with the least resistance. Must be the right way. And then we run into an obstacle and we wonder where God is. The way of wisdom says, actually, the thing God's calling me to, that might be the most resistance thing I bumped against. That's the way of wisdom. And knowing wisdom. If you're a follower of Jesus and you're invited to walk in the way of Jesus, in love with him and the world and others, it's an invitation to be like Jesus, and that might mean an invitation to suffering. That's part of the good news of the gospel. Putting the ethic of the kingdom of God first in your life and seeking his things first is the way of wisdom. So a true life of happiness is actually loving God and others and putting those things first and serving others out of that love. And the myth of folly is that when you put yourself first, you will be happy. And I will tell you that science today and lots of studies are showing that people who only put themselves first are never happy. These long, happiness studies that have studied people for generations almost are finding that the people that are the happiest are the people that serve others and love others. We already knew that, but it's nice to be affirmed by science. Folly likes to use deceit. You know, I was invited to speak at this thing, and folly and wisdom were both speaking to me. Some of the things that folly said were this: you know what? You should just wing it. You should just wing it. It'll be easy. You don't need to really prepare. Just like go to that class and just see what happens, you know? It'll be easy. That's the voice of folly. The voice of folly is also this: you actually need to spend probably 6 months preparing for this because you are so important. You've got to do it so perfectly because your identity rests in that. That's also folly. Wisdom says, you know, this is going to take some work, but I should be prepared and don't overestimate myself and my own abilities and my own importance. I'm not trying to impress anyone. That's the voice of wisdom. Wisdom used truth. But the truth was that when I thought of this, I thought the reasons I would say no were actually fear-based reasons. I was like, maybe I'm not going to do a good job at this. I'm a little bit afraid, I realized. What if people fall asleep? That's never happened before. What if people tune out? What if they don't like it? What if they're totally what if there are no questions asked at the end of the class? What if I get up there and I just freeze? Wisdom says, face the truth of that. Face the truth of what you're feeling. Folly used pride. Wisdom used humility. Folly says, you know, I think you should do it, Kevin, because there may be a standing ovation for you after your little class thing. It's going to be awesome. You're just going to knock it out of the park, and maybe someone's going to have a bouquet of flowers for you. That's folly. That's folly speaking through pride, not humility. Wisdom uses humility. Wisdom says, I hope that I make a small difference in the lives of these students. That's wisdom's voice. Well, I made a decision. I made a choice. I said, yes, I will do this. And I went, and it was a small class, and I found it so rewarding because I got to know all of the students, their names, and we talked and engaged, and it was so much fun, and I was so glad I did it, and so glad that I actually tried to make the decision with wisdom and let go of all those things of folly. And I learned that, like all of us probably know, fear can prevent us from doing things that we are called to do. And I wonder what's fear doing in your life right now? What's that voice of folly saying in your life and the decisions that you have to make that are important? Two voices are calling out. My party's the best. It's easy. Come to my folly party. There's another voice calling out. Come to my party. It's going to take some work, but it's going to change your life. You know, life is like this. No decisions are super easy. We make decisions that shape our lives. And wisdom is always intentional. So I want to leave you guys with this. As you navigate your everyday lives, may you, through the grace of God, the moving of His Spirit in your life, hear the voice of wisdom. May you know that wisdom sounds like intentionality. It sounds like not doing the easy way and taking the easy path. It looks like avoiding shortcuts. May you know that wisdom in God's way is truthful. It tells the truth about you and others in the situation in your life, even when you don't want to face it. May you know that the way of wisdom is humble. And humility calls us to make decisions that go against pride. and bragging. Humility calls us to say, I need help. That's the way of wisdom. And you're invited to those parties today. Will you make a choice? I want to tell you one more thing. I want to tell you what party you're going to go to if you don't make a choice. Can anyone guess what the default party is? If you say, I just not going to decide wisdom or folly, you're at folly's party. That's the default catchment. That's why the wisdom party is small. If you don't make intentional decisions to be wise, you end up in folly's party. So, my friends, this is an invitation. May God's Spirit meet you in your life in the messiness, and busyness, complexity, confusion, lack of clarity. And may wisdom speak to you, and may you hear his voice speaking and clarifying things, and may you walk in the way of wisdom and the way of God. Amen.